it's not about selling a pack. It's about getting them to come back tomorrow. So if you're just selling one pack today, that's not going to do any good. It's $4. So you need to look at it as, what are you investing in that person to be able to make a connection? So.
Hey everyone, so today we're trying something different, and I decided, since I travel around to a lot of game stores and I kind of used to do that for a living and I know quite a few retailers, I think it'd be really cool to start interviewing some of these stores as I travel and go around and do business and events. And I thought it'd be really cool to kind of just give everybody insight to what's going on. So today we're taking a look at Next Level, the Gamer's Den, a little store here in Western Washington, and let's take a look and just see how cool it is. This isn't the biggest store, but it's a very well done store for its size, and I think that's a good one to start with so people can see how much you can actually do with a small store and not have to have this gigantic setup that everybody believes you have to be successful. As you can see, like I said, the store's not large, but it's well appointed. It's clean, has nice fixtures, good product selection. The staff is nice. The players are friendly. It's in a nice shopping center and off of a major street. For a store of its size, they found a way to give it all of the competitive advantages that it can have to really make a go at it. And please excuse my voice in the audio during the interview, but it's really not about me. It's about Andy and his wonderful store.
All right, so here we are with Andy, who's the owner of Next Level, the Gamer's Den. And actually, I guess let's start there, about a name, actually. Like, how'd you come to that? Because it's kind of a long, different name than a lot of people.
It is a long name, and in hindsight, probably should have shortened it a little bit. Definitely, I think it's been about 10 years that I come up with the name. I made a bunch of posters, got all into name and everything, and thought it was going to be somewhere where people will just hang out and really be focused on building a community more than a store. And then I just sat on that idea for 5 years and did nothing with it, but except for making logos and things like that. And then it kind of got serious about actually creating this business.
Well, putting in that type of time, I think is really good. That you're saying, like, got the idea, made the logos and everything, and then I opened business.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that are like, all right, I got my money, let's go do it. And that's really not the way to go. So yeah, you're obviously here in a smaller city. So how does that affect your business?
It's surprising to a lot of people that we exist. We still, even in the small community, when you don't have that many people, you still have so many people that just walk by that are like, oh, I had no idea you were there. And it's like, you live 3 minutes away, but okay. People don't just wander their city as much as they used to, which does still impact us because when you have less people wandering a city that's small, you're just going to see less of that foot traffic. But being smart about who you have next to you and trying to get your name out there, your signage, things like that are important to be able to actually grow that part of business. So word of mouth is huge, and that's been successful. And then beyond that, just working with other businesses, talking to them, trying to actually build a connection, and just making sure you understand that every single person that walks in your door is not just important if they buy something, they're important if they tell someone else you exist.
That's exactly it. And that's one of the things that kind of brought me to want to start interviewing the stores, is because there's a lot of people in your situation that it does get harder to get your name out there, especially if you're in a smaller area. And like you're saying, not as many people are walking the streets as they are in, say, downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
Which is a big difference.
Huge.
The only downside I can say is, like, when I had my store, I'd been open 15, 16 years, and you'd still get people who grew up in town going, oh, I had no idea you guys are here.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really change, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, what type of games do you guys sell? I know obviously you're doing different types of Magic events and whatnot.
Yep.
But
we do a lot of Magic. We do D&D. Actually, is probably our second most popular. We've had events that go from. We had one campaign that was over a year long of all teenagers, and it had up to 18 people that would show up at the same time to play with one dungeon master. Hail Steven being able to handle that. It was pretty amazing watching them. Then beyond that, we're starting with Yu-Gi-Oh, which has been great for us. The group is starting to grow. Beyond that, we do a lot of birthday parties, and the birthday parties are great because it brings people that are a little bit different walk of life that would normally be coming in for maybe a Magic Gathering or a Dungeons & Dragons event. It's a whole entire family and all of their siblings, grandma, grandpa, everybody coming in and experiencing your store. That was huge for our word of mouth as well. And then beyond that, they post pictures, they do all these things, then you get tagged in all of them. That's helped us grow as well. So birthday parties, screen time. Someday we'll do video games. Right now we're trying to see where the PS5, Xbox thing nets out before I start buying used games that I might not be able to sell next year. So we'll be looking at that in the future as well. But main focus is Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, D&D.
I think that was a good thing you touched on too. I think a lot of store owners forget sometimes that it's not even always about your customer; it's about their extended social circles, right? So if people know they come to your store, well, you're going to be the place they come to buy birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and graduation and whatever. So even getting them younger gives you the whole family that's going to be here for birthdays, holidays, Christmas, whatever.
Definitely.
Like that goes a long, long way. And I want to say, I actually noticed you guys have, for not having a large board game selection, you actually have a pretty good curated selection of games. Like, do you put a lot of focus on that, or how do you find the games that you want to carry?
When we go with the board games, we talk a lot with our rep. We've kind of talked to them about, we're not going to go huge into board games because it's a niche group, and when you do find a board game fanatic, they just start doing a lot of pre-orders with you, and so that's what we've been kind of growing is that, and then we contact our local people that are interested in games and say, hey, we've been looking at this game. What are your thoughts on that game? And that's been helpful for us to decide what we would like to purchase. So that's been our big piece with board games is just kind of one or two at a time and focus on that and see how that moves and move on to something else each month as we go through and grow. So the holidays usually are the biggest time for board games because that's when you've got the regular family coming in and wanting to just buy a regular board game.
Oh yeah, you get a lot of people last minute are just like, oh, do you have a game for this many people that does this thing? And so like, yep, I got you.
Yeah, I can do that. Some people, cool, let's do it.
So yeah, what about your personal history? Like, did you go to business school? Did you whatever?
No.
How did you get to where you are now? I guess.
I actually have been working in McDonald's for 17 years. I supervise multiple restaurants at this point. I've learned everything that I know about business through McDonald's. And it's been a great experience for me, and being able to see other people go through that same experience has been really enlightening for me. I actually decided to kind of open up this business as just kind of, apparently I don't have enough to do, so I needed to create something else. But definitely I have a lot to do now. But I have a great team behind us, and the folks that work for me have done a really nice job of making sure they connect really well with all the guests. And the McDonald's piece of it was probably where I learned the most about that individual makes such a big impact because they come back X amount of times. And so building that connection every single time is so important. But that's where I started. That's where I'm continuing to be. And this has been fun for me. So I'll continue doing this too.
So I guess we're talking about like how you split your time between your other job and this. Like, kind of how does that break down for you on like a weekly basis?
Again, I'm very lucky to have the people working here that I do. There's weeks that I'm here for 4 or 5 hours. There's weeks that I'm here for 10 minutes. It's a lot of just checking in with them, seeing how they're doing, watching through their Facebook posts, like what they're actually getting posted, just coming in and checking with the customers themselves, like our play groups are the ones that are telling me how we're doing. And then just seeing the number of transactions, are they increasing, decreasing, like what are we doing there? Understanding that again, that individual customer, when I walk in the building, every single one is important, and making a connection with them, they're going to let me know how my business is doing more than generally my staff members.
Customers will always
Yeah,
tell you.
they are just all over it, and they notice the smallest things, and they all know that as a team, we all want to be successful, and Magic players and D&D players in general are really good about, they want your LGS to succeed. They want you to succeed, so they're more often than not going to be brutally honest with you on, okay, you know what, this event you did, but you didn't really think it through, you missed this piece of it, we probably could do this better next time. Great, we'll take that information, we'll do it, add it to the next one, and we'll go from there. So that's kind of how I gauge it, but from a time standpoint, it's really just, if I have free time, I come in. I also have a wife, daughter, and then one more on the way in like a month, so that's going to be impacting me as well. So it's really about being very aware of the time I'm spending.
So you're treating it more, you're taking the role more as a CEO, CFO, more than an active supervisor role or manager role in the business.
Yes.
I think that's interesting because I think everybody has this idea that the only way to do it is if I'm there all the time.
Correct.
And I can even say from personal experience, I think it took a while to understand, like, okay, there are ways I could delegate all this out. I don't have to do everything.
Correct.
So, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, do you ever see a point where you would start dedicating more time and then like take time away from your other job, or is this always going to be like a residual income kind of thing?
As of right now, it's still only a year and a half old, so residual income is not a thing. The whole intent is that I want to grow the business as big as it's going to be, and then when I see a stall in growth, that's when I'm going to evaluate kind of where the business is at and decide, where we go from here. I would love to be at a point where we can expand and make another location in a populated area, because I would like to see how the business plan works in a populated area. It's been doing well where there's no population, so I feel like it could be scalable to that. So at some point, that's something we'll be looking at doing. Beyond that, you roll back, what was the original question? I think I went off on tangent a little bit.
No, you took it. We were just talking about, like, is this something you eventually would spend more time doing?
In all reality, McDonald's takes very good care of me, and I don't think I'd ever even think of going anywhere else. And long term, who knows? I may even own some of those at the same time. But in the future that I see right now, I see this as always being like, this is my giant man cave, and this is where I come to hang out with my friends. So it's kind of how it is, and I enjoy rolling the money back into the business and helping it grow. So.
And what would you say is kind of the makeup of your customer base currently, as far as like age, demographics, things like that?
It's all over the board. Mostly, middle-aged, some younger for D&D. D&D is starting to focus a lot more on the younger age group, which is great. Stranger Things did an amazing job to promote that. But we've had in one D&D session like a 9-year-old boy and a 70 to 80-year-old guy playing, and a 10-year-old girl at the same time. So it's like it's definitely mixing up. All races, origins, all walks of life, really. I think everybody, once they get their hands on a game they enjoy, they're gonna come play it. And when you're building a business around being a community more than just, hey, no matter what, I need to sell you something before you walk out the door. Granted, I need to be able to keep the lights on, but when you're trying to get them to come back and just hang out with friends, that's going to be easy to expand that group. So I've seen all walks of life.
Cool. And speaking about community, I guess, have you had the opportunity to work with any other local businesses or any school groups or anything like that?
A lot of effort that direction. So I have a lot of experience working with schools through McDonald's themselves, and I've been trying to work and do something in the same format. But sadly, when you're not McDonald's and have the money behind it, they're less ambitious on, oh yeah, let's go jump in on that. So I had less success than I would have liked to admit doing that piece of it. We've been working with some local teen groups, so we've been reaching out to little teen centers. We've been reaching out to different food banks and things like that. So when we have product that's getting close to expiring on our shelves, like from a food standpoint, we're getting those over there. We actually even had like a clothing bank we have apparel and things like that. So things that are just becoming stale, we're getting that stuff over there, and that's helping our reach as well. Because they have kids, they have families, they just want to know that they're there, and then when they get a shirt, they're like, oh, this is from this place. So
Gotcha.
it's better than throwing it away. So I'm trying not to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. I feel that's one of the things a lot of businesses miss, right? Is that there's ways to still get other benefits, tax write-offs, whatever, from all these things that are going stale or that you can't use. Like, you may have tried to discount it already and you're still stuck with it for another 3 months. Like, what do you do with it?
I'm sorry, that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 shirt is probably not going to sell.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I guess for people who are watching, I mean, you're probably wondering what all this setup is that's going on here. Obviously, do some streaming of some kind for your store. So tell me a little bit about that, how that's set up.
Well, we got inspired by some of Command Zone and things like that that really have a following. And I know we're not going to have a massive following, but the goal here is that players that come in and they play a tournament, or they are doing, we've even done D&D sessions, like we had somebody come in and do their final D&D session in the store, so they could see and watch back and have that as a memory of, oh my gosh, do you remember when? They can go back and actually see it. The streaming piece of it when it comes to Magic is fun because people enjoy just, hey, what's going on at the den? Oh, look, there's people playing. And that's kind of how we use it right now is we start, we're going to be doing a Commander League again here soon, and we basically have it running all the time with signs that say, hey, we're waiting on match number 1, let's go. And then as people come and play, they start playing here, and then that way people are in that league can see, oh, there's these 4 people here already. I should probably get in there and get my games in because I can. So we really try not to do things like schedule a just locked in time. We only do Commander between 5 and 8. I'm sorry, whenever you're available to play Commander, just come play Commander.
Oh, especially for league play.
Yeah, league play, you've got to get your games in. So it's been a great tool for that. Beyond that, just being able to watch a final on a pre-release. We also have a trophy for the actual store itself. Where we put up plaques for the pre-release champions, get to be able to have their plaque on our trophy all the time. And same thing with League Champion, and we've just started it, so we have plaques coming in for that one, but our first launch for that was Theros, so we're excited to see that grow as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point of engagement, where customers or players may just be at home and be like, well, what's going on at the store? Or bragging rights, right? Like you win, it's like, hey, wait, no, there's video proof. Like,
you saw that. And we have had the occasional, like, oh my gosh, did you see that he missed tapping this or he didn't get that trigger? We get that from time to time, but we really focus on the casual side Magic. We haven't had any big super competitive tournaments, so we do have the upcoming Worlds tournament because we are the WPN premium store. We're able to run it. That's going to be an experience for us because we haven't done anything that's been super competitive yet. We try to announce at the beginning of all of our events that, guys, the person in front of you may have only been playing for a week. Give them a break. Try to be courteous to the person in front of you. So we really focus on that side of Magic, and we try not to get too spiky. So
I think that's another good thing there too. Is like you're not a huge store, but you've still been able to be part of the WPN and still participate in all those major programs. You know, so it's still possible even with the smaller footprint.
Yeah, we're actually the smallest store in the entirety of the WPN that has premium, and it's not by a little bit. It's like 500 square feet less.
Oh, sure.
So like 30% less than the next biggest or next smallest store. So footprint isn't everything. It's about what you're trying to accomplish as the store itself. And talking to the rep at WPN, I mean, she was very helpful and very straightforward. And I kind of start off with, so I know I'm applying for premium. Before I start throwing money that direction, is there any chance that I'm going to be essentially told no just because I'm only 1,200 square feet? She was very clear with, nope, that has nothing to do with it. It's all about your metrics. It's all about, growing your player base. It's about, are you providing a premium experience? And luckily, that's what I wanted when I first opened the business, is I wasn't trying to just be another card shop. A little bit of background on that piece of it is that I would take my wife to card shops because, I'd be driving around and I'm like, oh my gosh, a card shop. And I would go in, and she never would come in with me. And sometimes when you go in to do a trade and it takes 2 hours when you said 10 minutes, she wasn't too keen to that. But I wanted to be able to make somewhere where she was happy coming. My wife isn't here more than I am, and she brings my child. You watch spots for people's halves and things like that. Make sure that the store is running. She keeps a nice eye for cleanliness in the store. Sure. If I say restaurant, I apologize. Sometimes it's just my mentality. But she does a nice job of making sure that they're keeping cleanliness on task. But it's nice to have her as that next set of eyes because she's looking from a regular customer point of view. She's that person that's walking by to get pizza next door. What's catching her eye to get her to walk in the building with her kids? If it just looked like plastic tables and chairs and a bunch of people in a crowded room, they're not going to make an effort to come in. So
for sure.
It was interesting when we first opened, actually about 3 months after, I think, we got our apparel in, and I focused a lot on purses and things like that. Those things flew off the shelf, and we grew rapidly because of that, because so many moms were comfortable coming in and bringing their kids.
Oh, especially when you have, fanny packs and backpacks and whatever. Yeah, people look at that stuff.
Definitely.
And I totally get where you're coming from, because I actually worked for McDonald's when I was in my teen years.
Yeah.
But I remember having to clean everything down and the OSHA checks and all that stuff. So you carry that over to any other business, right? And I'll share pictures too, so everybody will see it. But you have nice fixtures and everything's labeled, and you have your branding, and that all matters, I think, to the overall. When you're talking about that premium experience that some stores don't put time into.
Definitely not, and I was very appreciative of the point of view that Wizards gave, because we didn't have all of this before we did. When we went through the premium process, it was a lot of the branding that we added, because I felt like, oh yeah, we have the sign on the door, we have a sign on our display, but besides that, they know where they are. Why do they need to see all the branding? And she made a good point of, no, they don't necessarily remember where you are unless it's thrown in their face every 5 seconds. So it was interesting as we went through, and we just kind of created all of this branding with them, and that was super helpful. So I think that'll help us grow as well.
And you guys are doing a lot of other stuff too, as far as the TVs and time people can buy, and you have nice setups, cushy chairs over here.
Yeah, you just sink into those things. When you're trying to work and it gets late and you sit down in one, just don't, because you won't get back up.
But yeah, I think you're doing great right now. So what do you have planned coming up for the future here in the next, let's say, the next 6 months?
6 months, we're really watching to see what the WPN Premium Zine brings. I'm very big on the store manager, Ryan, really loves when I'm throwing all these ideas his way. And it's on me. I'm not always the best about saying, this is what we're actually going to do. So one of the things we've been talking with the WPN about is what are they doing to bring Arena into the LGS? Because a lot of what the LGS are seeing right now, talking to some of the other ones, is that growth is getting a lot harder in that younger community, because they'd rather just be on their phone or their computer at home playing Arena rather than coming in and buying cardboard. The challenge there is, how do we transfer those Arena players into the store? So we've had a few ideas. One, we've talked about buying PCs basically for every screen and actually holding in-store Arena tournaments. Thinking about that. But when talking to the WPN, it sounds like they are aware that it's an issue, and it sounds like that's something they're interested in tapping. So I'm excited to see what they have coming for that. But for us in particular, we're big on Commander League, so we're going to be doing another Commander League, and we try to make it so that the prize support lines up with the next launch of a new block or a new set that's coming out, so the prize support can be based on that. So they get excited about a new set. So Commander League is going to be starting within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Beyond that, we might be doing a bigger, more competitive event. I'm not going to say which one yet.
Sure.
But we're really looking at doing that. But more than likely, if we do that, we have to rent out some local space that we're getting cleared with Wizards to be able to be a little bit bigger in that. Besides that, we're all about just come in and play. We do the same thing all the other stores do. You got your drafts, you've got your basic commander night, you've got your modern, your pioneer, trying to fire standard. Everything weekly we have going on. We're doing things like lock-ins for the screens where kids can come in, and we're going to be doing a Minecraft one in the next few weeks.
Sure.
Basically, we've got 4 hours to survive. Can you make it on hard and we've got a list of challenges that they have to get, so we're excited to see how that goes. It's our first try on one of those, but it's really just about getting ideas and talking to your community. What do they want to do? Because it could be that we finish this league and they're like, you know what, we're burned out on Commander. We've had 12 weeks now in a row of just straight Commander League. What do we want to do that's different? And then I sit out there, I put in posts on Facebook, hey guys, what do we want to do? And we just get the player base involved. So the player has just as much control as we do about what we're playing. So I'd say those are probably the biggest events, or those leagues that we do. And as we continue to get ideas, you'll see posts and we'll try it. So
yeah, I think what you're doing is great. You know, I know you talk a lot about it is getting more difficult to get some of the youth in here, I guess, but I think you're doing it the right way as far as cultivating an experience more than just trying to sell a game, which is what I think a lot of people that are struggling probably need to, I don't know, shift their mentality into a little bit.
Yeah, it's not about selling a pack, it's about getting them to come back tomorrow. So if you're just selling one pack today, that's not going to do any good. It's $4. So you need to look at it as, you know, what are you investing in that person to be able to make a connection? So
cool. Well, I think that's it, man.
Oh,
Thanks
awesome.
for taking the time and sitting down with me. This is actually a really good interview.
Yeah,
so.
no, I really appreciate you coming
and you get to be my first one.
Yeah,
so.
being the first, I love being the first for anything. So if you ever want to come back in the future, I'd be happy to have you out here. If you have any further questions or reach out, we're always here to answer questions. So
Cool.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks.
you. Appreciate it.
So as you can see, Andy's a really nice guy running a really fun store. And I'm glad this was my first store interview to put on the channel, because it sets the tone and shows everybody that you don't need such a large store in a highly populated area to be successful. And he's coming at it from a different perspective and applying things he's learned from different other types of businesses to the game store arena, which is very cool. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you all thought about this interview. I definitely want to do some more. And if y'all like it, hit the like button, and for sure hit the subscribe button, and we'll see what other kind of stores I can get into. See you next time.